Okay, so let's chat. Y'all ready to explore? I'm so ready to explore. So I think I'm gonna start with reading what I sent to you guys by email, and then we're gonna dive into the conversation because I know that puts a little context into what I'm going to share here today. So I'm going to read the email that I sent out to our to my email list for those who may not be on my email list. For whatever reason this week, I've really been pondering and opening my own self to what I'm going to share tonight. The more I became still, the more I silently observed what was coming through my inbox, and I'll share a couple of those. Observed what's in all of the law of attraction ads, teaches, practices, etc., even my own videos of the past. When I simply observed in stillness, no judgment, these 6 points of expanded awareness became more real in my world. In a sense, just a different pair of spectacles through which to see the human experience of I want to manifest XYZ. Yet the conversation through this lens is not at all one we tend to have. It is rare, to say the very least, and virtually non-existent in the midst of the current law of attraction fixation. So, if you're open to it, you can come look through a new pair of spectacles with me. That's this evening. Take whatever resonates, discard what does not. It does not matter, really. We're all just here exploring with childlike curiosity, so bring that curiosity and let's explore these 6 largely overlooked perspectives on trying to manifest stuff in this earthly realm. I'll share some stories from my own life. I'll share some stories from from emails I've received. Those will be anonymous, of course. Some stories that you may even realize that you have lived yourself. Yet the lens through which we will explore might never have occurred to you, or maybe it has, but without much emphasis or focus. Honestly, there's really nothing new in our experiences of awakening, not from our soul's perspective anyway, just more and more to remember. So let's just view these familiar stories and experiences through a new lens. See how they feel. No expectations, no conclusions, no decisions, no teachings here, no particular way to be. This is just an exploration. And once the exploration is over, just breathe deeply and see what feels it wants to be explored further within you, if anything. This is an open conversation, as I always say. Take what resonates and discard what does not. So that's where we're gonna begin here today. And I'm just going to dive in, but I'll say a little bit about why I say no conclusions, no decisions, no teachings here. So I'm moving, as I shared in my last live stream, kind of moving more and more into that space of I don't resonate with the label spiritual teacher. And the reason I do not is because, and it's not like calling yourself a spiritual teacher is a sin. It's not, because the minute somebody expresses that they don't like something, everybody goes, "Ooh, I should say that around her." That's not what I'm saying. I'm just sharing my perspective and where I'm at. The label spiritual teacher, to me, the reason it does not resonate, and the reason I feel like I'm not here to teach anyone anything, if anything, I'm here to remind you of what your soul already knows, right? But the reason I don't feel resonance with the label spiritual teacher is because it presupposes that I have something to teach you that you don't already know. And it also presupposes that whatever I'm teaching you, you're supposed to like take it to heart and do something with it and follow the teachings, right? And that's how a lot of people follow spiritual teachers. It's like, oh, it's my guru, it's my that, and it's like, oh my gosh, I have to listen to what they're saying. And even when people get inspired by my videos, they go, oh, I have to share it with my sister, or I have to share it with this person because they're going through something and they can learn something from your videos. But they're doing their own in life. They may not resonate with my message. They may not resonate with me. And we have to, and you'll hear me say that repeatedly through the 6 themes that I'm going to explore here. We have to give people the room to just be who they're here to be and to explore what they came here to explore and not pound them with what we think is quote unquote right. Because there is no right. It's just many different perspectives. The other thing that came to me is that pondering, I should say, is that there's really no like hardcore truth that comes out of the mouth of a human being. And you may or may not resonate with that, but from my perspective, what comes out of the mouth of a human being is always tainted by the humanness that we are, and the density that we are, and the human that we are. And what I feel like the best that we can offer is perspectives, right? And it may ring true for you, it may feel resonant for you, but the only reason it feels resonant and rings true is because you're ready to move into that experience. You're ready to move into the exploration of that experience. And by the way, my puppy is in my room and he's gnawing at his chew toys and drinking water and running up and down. So if you hear noises in my room, it's my puppy. He's going to be here with me for the next few minutes. Well, for the entire live stream. So we'll hope he doesn't behave and bark. He hardly ever barks. He's not that breed, but he's all around my foot doing stuff, wanting me to play fetch right now, and I can't. When he wants me to play fetch, he just drops toys at my feet. Like, I'm ready to play. What's up? And that's what he's doing right now, right at my foot, dropping toys. Anyway, so I don't feel resonant with the label spiritual teacher. And the more my own personal awareness expands, the more I want to give people room to just be who they came here to be and explore whatever they came here to explore. And as I go through the 6 themes here, you'll see that repeated all the way through. So let's go ahead and dive in. So the topic today is manifesting, right? I'm not going to talk about how to manifest. There's enough of that on YouTube. Okay. What I want to bring is not a new, but a different pair of lens through which to view, and he's going to be with his squeaky toys, through which to view this thing called manifesting, because of what I'm going to share here today. It's really just being in that knowing of a different way to see the world sometimes, because that's just where I am, and when I'm here and I show up in a live stream, I'm just saying, look, this is where I'm at. This is what's coming to me. This is how I'm seeing the world. Take what resonates, discard what does not. So we're talking about manifesting, and really just 6 different perspectives on manifesting that you may or may not have considered before. Even if you have considered it, you may not have considered it at the depth that I'm going to explore it here today. And anything that's coming to you guys, chime in. At the end of each one of these, I will pause and I will read your comments as you go through. And again, ignore the squeaky toy in the background. That's my puppy. He's having a blast over there. Okay, so I'm going to start with number 1, which everyone knows. This is not new, but I'm going to invite you to see it from a more expanded perspective. So number 1 here is there's never a time when we're not manifesting. You all know that, right? There's never a time in our experience when we're not manifesting. Back when I was on my old channel, championing manifesting and law of attraction, which is fine. That old channel is still there for people who resonate with that. They are there and it helps them. It helped me and it was part of my journey. So those videos are still there. But back in those days when I was doing all of those videos, I had an interview with someone and she said, you really should do a video on stuff that you've manifested. That would be really interesting and exciting to hear about. And I was already in the place where I'm like, well, that's my whole life. Like, there's nothing I've experienced that I have not manifested. But in the law of attraction craze here on planet Earth, we think of manifestations as a thing that I wanted and it happened, or a thing that I put on my vision board and it happened, or a thing I really, focused on in my visioning time and it happened, right? Completely disregarding the fact that everything that has happened in your life to date is your manifestation? And here's how I'm going to invite you to like expand that, right? During the time that I disappeared there, I celebrated my 54th birthday, which is kind of funny. I'm going to do a little sidebar because I went to my son's school 2 days ago, and I walked into the school office to talk to one of the people there, and I began the conversation because I knew who I was talking to, right? And the woman's looking at me like, how dare you? Like, I'm like, why is she looking at me like I shouldn't be having this conversation with her? And then as a certain point in the conversation, she went, oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were a student. And I'm like, I'm 54 years old. You still mistaken me for a high school student. That was kind of funny. But in my 54 years on this planet, think about this, right? Some of you have had hungry days, okay? Maybe. I don't know. Maybe you went without food, you didn't have money, whatever. Doesn't matter. I'm going to share my story and I'm going to invite you to expand yours. I've been on my own since I was 20 years old, 19, when I came to the US to live with my dad. I've been on my own, making my own money, doing my own thing. For 34 years of my life, I have manifested 3 meals a day, every single freaking day. How come we never talk about those manifestations? Some of you have made so much money in the last 20 years, but never consider it because you're looking at your bank account today. If I look back on the last 30 years of my life, millions of dollars have come through my life. And that is no exaggeration. Millions of dollars. But we never look at that, right? We look at this present moment like, yeah, but I don't have the car that I want now that I want to manifest, right? I want to invite you all to look at your life with me. Like some of you are just like me. Whether you have a job, don't have a job, you've worked, you're not working, it does not matter. Look back on the last few decades of your life at what you have actually manifested. For me, in my story, it may not be your story. I have never been without money. I have never not had money. I have never not had money in my bank account. Who manifested that reality? I manifested that reality. And some of you have the exact same story. Some of you, whether you had money or not, you've never gone hungry. In all of your life, you have never not had food to eat, even if it was ramen noodles, okay, or one sandwich a day, you have had food all of your life. That is your manifestation. Yet in the law of attraction craze, all of that is ignored, tossed to the side, right? Think about your life, the jobs you have had, in the years that you have been bringing income in, sometimes not, whatever, it doesn't matter. But if you sat down with a calculator and calculated all of the money that has come through your hands, you manifested that. No one else did. Whether you manifested through a job that you didn't like, manifested it through someone giving you a gift, manifested it through family members helping you out from time to time, it does not matter. Have you ever gone hungry? Maybe you have. But for some of you who have gone hungry, maybe you didn't have any money, I have manifested 3 meals a day every single freaking day for 34 years of my life. I've manifested over 12,000 meals, okay? And some of them days, I'm eating 4 or 5 times a day. And I have a little jiggle on my side to prove that, and a little bit too much junk in my trunk right now. But that's beside the point. I have manifested 12,000 plus meals in the last 30 years. There's never a time when we are not manifesting. Think about this. For some of you who meals is not your thing, it's like, no, I've gone hungry. Or no, I've gone without money. Which of you here has never had a major illness in your life? You've never been hospitalized. You've never had a major illness. Who manifested that for decades of your life? You have. There's never a time when we're not manifesting. How is it that in our craze of manifesting and how to manifest this and how to manifest that, no one's walking around going, girl, I manifested about 25 damn years of health. Okay. I have never had a major illness, maybe a cold here or there. Maybe I had some little thing, little rash or something. It doesn't matter. But I've actually never had a major illness. I have actually manifested health for decades of my life. Okay. Who's manifesting now the health? Who's manifesting your experiences but you? There's never a time that we're not manifesting. What happened yesterday in your life? The events of just yesterday, whether it was something that you went yay about, I had a really good day, or it's something that you feel like it wasn't that great. Doesn't matter. You are the only person orchestrating your reality with some help. And I'll get to that for a second. I'll get to that later on, because that was another expanded place of awareness too. But when you think of the last week, some of you have never had a car accident. You have been driving your car. I have been driving my car since I was 26 years old. I was a late bloomer in terms of learning how to drive. I was driving my car since I was 26 years old. I am 54 years old. And I've had one accident where I opened my car door at a traffic light and a motorcycle was coming through traffic and hit my car door. That's the only accident I've ever had. And nothing major. Nobody got hurt. Some of you are just like me. You can say, for decades, I have been on the road and accidents happening every single day. I've never been involved in an accident. Some of you can say that. Who manifested that reality? You did. For some of you, you've had bountiful friendships and your family and your closeness with your family, and there's no issues going on in your family. Well, bless your heart, because you might be the only family ain't gonna no issues. But some of you can say, I really love being with my family members. I don't have any issues going on. Things are really good. Who's manifesting that for all these years? Maybe you get together for Thanksgiving and it's a joyful time. It's not a stressful time, right? You can say that. You can say, I love being with my family, right? Some people can't say that. You've manifested that. There's some people who are on the street tonight with no meals, no bed to lay in. Some of you have never gone a night where you did not have a bed to sleep in. Who manifested that for decades? You can say, in my reality, I have manifested decades of sleeping on a bed, and there are some people who don't have a bed. Consider that. There's never a time when we are not manifested. Yes, never a time when we're not manifesting yet. In this law of attraction craze that we're in, we're only focused on what we do not have. Like, I ate for the last 20 years, but you know what? I don't have enough money in my bank account. Or I ate for the last, yes, I know I ate for the last 30 years. Nobody's talking about that. It's like, you did that. You did that thing for the last 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, whatever it is that you ate every single day. You manifested that reality. There is never a time when you are not manifesting. Yet we give that little consideration, very little consideration, because we're so hyper focused on, oh, let me learn how to manifest this thing that I do not have. But pause for a moment and just ponder that. Like, how much money have made it into my experience over the last decade? Not the last month, maybe not the last year, maybe that was not a good year, maybe hasn't been a good month, whatever. But if you think about the last 10 years, for some of you who've been working in corporate America for 20, 30 years, multiply the number of dollars you earned for 20, 30 years. Some of you probably will hit $1 million and you didn't even consider it because, well, it was only $50,000 a year, or maybe it was only $60,000 a year that I have earned for 25 years. You know what I mean? And all that money you manifested, right? But we don't ever think about that. So when someone says to me, do a video on the things that you've manifested, that's my life. I've manifested my life. Everything, the home that I live in, the place that I live in, the food that I eat every day, this little noisy puppy at my feet, everything that's happening in my life, I've manifested. I've co-created this in unison with my soul, my spirit, the universe. It was a co-creation. There's never a time when we are not manifesting, and the hyper focus on individual, it's like we have this whole full life, right? Like there's all this stuff happening in life, and we go, and I manifested that one thing. Like we'll get the car, right? Or we'll get the house, or we'll get the client or whatever, and we go, oh my gosh, look at what I manifested. But what about your life? Like everything in your life, who's manifesting that? Everything in your life you have manifested. Why is no one ever talking about that? Look through that lens with me. Look at the meals that you have eaten for 20, 30, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years, some of you, because a lot of my followers are 50, 60 years old. Look at the money that has made it in and out of your bank account. Don't focus on the out. How much made it in? Focus on the health that you have had. I've had one thing that was a health issue for me was severe anemia. And you know how I got rid of it? I woke up one day and decided I don't want to have severe anemia anymore. And I let it go. And there it went. And I was fine ever since. I was focused on it for the time that I had it. I was getting iron transfusions and all these different things. And then I went to the doctors and they're trying to tell me something else is going on. And I'm like, you know what? I'm done with y'all. I'm gonna manifest my own health. And ever since then, I've never had the issues. That's the only thing that I can say I've had in my life. But for the most part, in my entire 54 years, healthy. I had my dad who passed earlier this year, 97 years of health. I have my mother who's 84 years of health. I can say I'm grateful for that. My parents were healthy people. All of these things that are happening around us and in our reality that we are creating, this experience that we're co-creating with others, and we never focused on that because we're so hyper-focused on, yeah, but I want to get that client. Yeah, but I want to get that job. Yeah, but I'm going to get that promotion. Yeah, I want to get that amount of money. But look at what you've already manifested because there's never a time that you're not. So that's point number one. And I'm going to breathe and pause and see if you guys have anything to say about that new spectacle that I'm inviting you to put on. Just look at the past. Look at the past. Okay. Yay, the puppy. Yes, indeed. I am my own guru. Yes, Carolyn. Yeah, girl. Yes, girl. You are your own guru. Happy birthday. Thank you. You're right about appreciating life's blessings regularly. We don't do it regularly. We're so focused on the future. What do I not have now that I want to get, that we don't even think about what's actually happening here. There's never been a time when I wasn't manifesting air to breathe and water to drink. Hello, there are some people who ran out of air last night and they're on the other side right now. There's some people who don't have clean water to drink. We're manifesting every time I go to the faucet and turn that on. We take it for granted, but I've manifested this reality of always having water, Mark is saying, I am a magnificent manifester. We all are. We were born magnificent manifestors. We should all be walking around and looking at everything that's going on in our lives going, I did that. I'm a magnificent manifester. I did that. Even when crap happens, okay, I did it. We're going to figure it out. We'll get to that in a second. Nora is saying that's amazing. Rebecca is saying, love it. Excellent health is our natural state of being. Exactly. Dolores is saying, welcome, Nora. So yeah, look at your life that you have already manifested and see how much there is to be grateful for. And when next you go, yeah, but I haven't, pause and go, if I do, hello, he never barks. If I do the math, how much money have I experienced? Hang on a second. One moment. I moved the thing that he was. But there's so much reality that we have already created. And the law of attraction craziness takes us away from that. It gets us hyper focused on what we do not have when we've manifested so much already. So that's one lens. Take a moment, like in the next day or two, and go, let me really do the math. Like, I've never done the math on how much money has made it through my experience in the last 34 years. I've never actually done it. And then in the last week, I sat there and I'm like, holy crap, that's millions of dollars, right? I was working for 6 figures in corporate America, made 6 figures as an entrepreneur. It's like all these different things. And if I added it up, just generally off the cuff, added it up, millions. And some of you may not, so some of you, when you add it up, it's 1 million. Who cares? But do the math for a second. Even if there were blips of times when you didn't have the money, maybe don't go there if it's going to take you down a rat hole. But for some of you who have been in steady jobs for decades, the money, the food, the experiences, the vacations, all these things, there's never a time when we're not manifesting. Look through that lens more often. That's where I'm at right now. It's just looking through that lens that there's never a time that I'm not manifesting. There's never a time. So I don't have to give special emphasis to one thing or another that I'm trying to manifest, when manifestation is my birthright. Manifestation is a natural way of being for all of us. All of us. Like someone just said, we're all magnificent manifestors because there's never a time we're not manifesting. Okay, moving on to number 2, which we never hear anyone talk about. Never hear anyone talk about this. Every single person that has, quote unquote, manifested something has a different, verifiable story on what they did to manifest that thing. Have you all noticed that? Every single person that has, quote unquote, manifested something has a different, verifiable story on how they've manifested. So let's look at some of those, right? Because what I see us doing often is chasing the recipe for manifesting, right? Hopefully most of you are over that. Most of you, hopefully, in this arena, on my new channel, I would imagine that most of you are over that. But everyone gets there in a different way. So look at this. Somebody says, I stuck a fake $1 million bill in my ceiling and I stared at it for a year. And right at that year mark, I made $1 million, right? There's somebody with that story. I repeat affirmations every day, and at the 30-day mark, I made X number of dollars. Verifiable story. They're telling what they have experienced. I created a vision board, and everything that I put on my vision board last year manifested. That works. That's the ticket. Verifiable story. I write my intentions every single day, and when I look back on the last year, every single one of the intentions that I have written has manifested. Verifiable story. There are many people who can tell that story. I stay in a high vibration all the time. I just stay high. I just stay happy. I just don't let anything ruin my vibe. And that's how I manifest. Verifiable story. You can tell a story about exactly how you did that. I released attachment to all of my desires and things just manifest. That's my story today. I just released attachment and things just tumble into my experience. Verifiable story. I can tell you how that happens. I can tell you how that happens. Releasing all the desires all together and just let life do its thing. Don't even think about desires. Just live life and let's just follow the river of life. And that's how things happen in my experience. Verifiable story. There are people, what's his name? Michael Singer, who wrote the book, The Surrender Experiment, which actually I love. I have some qualms with some of the things that he shared, but he wrote the book, The Surrender Experiment, where he said, look, whatever shows up, I follow it. I don't have any desires, which he did have some, I'm just saying, but I don't have any desires. I released all desires. I don't feel like we need to be trying to manifest anything. We don't have control over life. We just let life do its thing. And he wrote a whole book on so much that he's manifested millions of dollars, really big businesses, all that stuff. Verifiable story, right? I followed a set of steps. I did X, Y, Z. Many years ago, when I was listening to Abraham Hicks, there was one time when Abraham was channeling because somebody was in the hot seat asking the question of which one of these If you were to tell us the one process that would help us to manifest, because that's how humans are, right? Tell me the one process that would get me to manifest, right? And the response from Abraham Hicks was, well, first, what we want to do is apologize that we have ever given you so many different processes, because now you're completely confused. We were trying to help you because humans don't believe that they can actually not do a process and allow things to happen. And now we've given you all these processes. And literally, if you follow Abraham Hicks, there's at least 100 different processes to date that you can use to manifest something, right? And I say that in air quotes because we're not, law of attraction is using us. We're not using it, So I followed a set of steps and it caused me to manifest. I followed a daily process, whatever that process is. And it helped me to manifest XYZ, right? And what I see happening in our world is we're just going around going, it's that. Wait, it's that, right? And we see another video come across YouTube and we're like, oh, somebody tells a story about their way, how they manifested. And we go, oh gosh, that must be it. Let me do that, right? And we're not living in the awareness that there probably are 7 billion different ways to allow what we desire into our experience. Why? Because there's 7 billion different people on this planet. So when you move about life, grasping at one thing or another, and every time somebody says, oh my gosh, look, I manifested a house doing this, you go, oh my God, that's the thing I need to do. Oh my gosh, I manifested $10 million doing this. Oh my God, that's the thing I need to do, right? Let's move into the space where we can watch somebody say that and go, interesting. That's one of the 7 billion ways. That's cool. Rather than, that must be it. Just chill. Just chill. Yeah, I bet she did have that experience. I bet he did have that experience. I bet he did. I bet. Because there are probably 7 billion ways to explore, quote unquote, manifesting. I bet there are. So of course she did it that way. That, for whatever reason, was aligned for her. That doesn't mean I have to do it. It means that was her way. Let me feel into my spirit, my heart, my soul, my inner being, and see where I'm at. Like for me right now, I could watch people talk about, I did this and I manifested, I did that, and I go, cool. One of the 7 billion. And I'm in a place where I just release attachment to everything. Desires arise, desires dissipate. I don't have to hold on to anything. I don't have to focus on anything. Money is like air. It is always flowing. I trust that. Whatever is arising as a desire, it was meant to be, it will be. I don't have to chase it. I don't have to plan it out. I don't have to structure it out. I just have to let it be. And that's where I'm at. But that may not be where you are. Maybe you have a process and you're like, no, Allison, I'm real excited about this process. Go for it. But whenever you watch people say, this is the way, just put on a new set of spectacles now. Expand your awareness to the fact that that is one of 7 billion different ways. I dated a guy probably about 5 years ago here in Atlanta. He meditates 6 hours a day, transcendental meditation. And he swears that's the ticket to everything he's experienced in his life, is meditating 6 hours a day. That'll never be me. That's one of 7 billion ways in which someone can experience their desires unfolding in their experience. So whenever you watch everyone, expand your awareness to the fact that it's one of 7 billion different ways. There is no one way. There is no one truth. You could do nothing and have lots manifest, like Michael Singer's The Surrender Experiment and my experience today. Or you could do lots of things and have lots of things manifest by doing. But can we just look at everybody now? Can we go there? Can we look at everybody now when they talk about, this is how I manifest? People are still commenting under my video way back on my old channel. It's probably over 100,000 views right now, where I talked about four ways to tell if your manifestation is underway. And People are chomping at the bit at that video. But people are still under that video going, here's what I did, or here's what not to do, And I don't comment anymore. I just, interesting. Okay. But I'm in this place of expanded awareness now. Like, there is no one way. There are at least 7 billion different ways. Choose whatever resonates for you. Discard what does not. I'm not on the manifesting train anymore. I'm on the chilling, living life, just following the river of life kind of experience. That's where I'm at. That may not be where you are. It doesn't mean that you're wrong and you have to get to where I'm at. No, that ain't how it is. I'm on my own unique journey. You're on your own unique journey. If doing a vision board lights you up and gets you excited and go for it. Explore that. I explored it. I'm complete with that exploration. I'm in a new experience now. That was one of the 7 billion that I wanted to explore, and I did. I used to write my intentions every day religiously for probably about 3 years, right after I read Trevor Blake's 3 Simple Steps. And I felt like those 3 simple steps were the only steps. I used to buy that book for every single client. I'm like, these are the 3 simple steps. Trust me, it works. It's working. I was just exploring that. I'm done. I'm complete with that experience. That was one of the 7 billion. And it worked. It was cool. It was fine. It was fun. And then I got tired of writing intentions every day. It felt like effort, and I let it go. And I'm still living life, and life is just fine. So can we, this is just an invitation. You can say no to the invitation. But can we move into a much more expanded awareness that there ain't no one damn way? And anyone you talk to that says this is the way, they haven't gotten to that level, not level. I don't like to use levels, but they have not experienced that expanded awareness that there are 7 billion different people on this planet, and there probably are going to be 7 billion different ways in which you can allow what you want into your experience. There is no one way. And when you watch a video with somebody enthusiastically saying, this is the way, you got to meditate 6 hours a day. That's how you achieve it. You got to do a vision board. That's how you achieve it. You got to do this. That's how. Just go, that's cool. They're in the place where they think it's the way. But I am now here where I know there are 7 billion different ways. And that's okay. They're exploring one that excites them. That's amazing. I don't have to chase that. I'm just going to stay and see if it resonates. Is it truly resonating in a soft way? Or do I feel like I found the thing and there's some anxiety that I got to go do that because she just made $10 million from doing that, right? Assess. Are you like, no, I'm chill. It's okay. It's okay that she got $13 million from doing that. Doesn't mean I have to go chasing it. I'm cool. If it was for me to do, it'll naturally arise in my experience, and it'll feel like butter on toast. It won't feel like effort. It won't feel like I'm chasing the next thing for how to manifest. Just chilling. It feels like something I want to try. It feels easy. It feels like fun. It feels like a playground. It doesn't feel like I have to do it. And you're there, right? Can we expand to this new lens at looking at quote unquote how to manifest, and just become aware that there are 7 billion ways to do it. And there's no one way that's better than another. It's just whatever resonates. I'm going to pause there on number 2 and before I go into number 3. Okay. Great book. Yeah, Michael Singer's book was an awesome book. I loved it. I actually loved it. Even though I had like some things that didn't resonate, I actually love it. And interestingly, I'm living life more like that now than back in my old law of attraction craze days, Humans like processes, so we've manifested them. Yeah, that's true. That's true. That is so true. Spot on. And I don't have anything against processes. What's interesting is that I noticed within myself that when I was having private conversations, private sessions with people, my divine team would at times give me a process for someone. And I could feel my human resistance because I'm no longer resonant with processes, right? And I had to let go of my own thing, like I'm over processes, I'm so over that, right? That's where I am. It doesn't mean someone else is there. And there are times when I am in a private session with someone where my divine team is saying, share this with them as a possible path to more of what they prefer. And initially I felt some resistance within me because I'm like, I'm not a process person, so I'm not giving this person a process. But I had to move myself aside and see that for this person in this phase of their experience, that is what would resonate the most. That is what would be most calming. That is what would be most soothing to the angst that they're feeling. So I'm wide open. I don't do processes anymore. I'm just kind of in this let life do its thing kind of way of living. But when someone is telling me they're doing a process, it's like those 7 billion ways to manifest. Yeah, they're doing a process because that's the path that feels most resonant for them right now. And maybe that's the path that feels most resonant for them for the rest of their lives. And that's okay. And I explored that and was complete with that exploration. And that is okay, you know? So yeah, humans like processes. That's just our state of mind. You know, we feel like we have to do something in order to make something happen. And sometimes it's better for someone, it's more suited for them to take on a process than to just sit and chill like I'm doing. This sitting and chilling with life that I'm doing may cause someone else a tremendous amount of anxiety. Like, no, I can't not do marketing. I can't not do this. You know, go do the thing that's soothing, you know, be wherever you're at. It's totally fine. Rebecca is saying, I feel that manifestation tools vary depending on where we are. Infinite possibilities of success. Yeah. And one tool may resonate today, and 2 years from now, you'll look back on that tool that you used and go, that so doesn't resonate for me right now. Just like my life, you know? So stay open. Like right now in this moment, this thing may resonate and feels like it's lighting you up. Do that thing. And then 2 hours later, it may feel like, it feels like effort now. Don't do it. You know, we feel like there's a have to. There's no have to's around any of it. Susie is saying, I think the same happens when it comes to action. Say more about that, Susie. I don't know what you mean by that. The same happens when it comes to action. Daryl is saying, it's simple, just breathe, which is natural, happens without thought or effort. Yes, sir. And not resist life. It naturally happens. Yes. And that's where you and I are, and not everyone's there. Like not everyone can just chill out and go, money's like air. I'm just going to let it happen. I'm not going to apply much effort. For some people, applying effort is what brings them some relief. Applying effort is what's soothing for them in that moment. That's where they are. And the ease with which you and I say, life is just like the air that we breathe, natural, effortless. Why not live life that way? And for those of us who choose to live life that way, we can't see why anybody would want to do all these processes and would want to like sit down and clip out pictures from a magazine and put it on a vision board. Like why? When you're the manifestation like antenna, you know, like you are, you know, but it's where they are, and wherever they are is perfect for their journey. Like I was there. I was in the vision boarding at one point. I never did it. I did it electronically, not with magazines, but I was there and I printed it out and I looked at it every day and I did that. And I'm complete with that experience, but it doesn't mean someone else watching you right now is complete with that experience. They don't have to feel bad about the fact that they're doing processes and vision boards and having visioning sessions and visualizing sessions and all that. If that feels resonant for you, if that is what's lighting you up, do that. Do that. And if your journey was meant to move through that and move into something else, you will. There are some people that will follow Abraham Hicks till the day they die. They'll be watching how to manifest things and doing all the processes and listening to all the audios and videos and practicing all the processes until the day they die. That's what they're here for. Who am I to judge that's right or wrong? It's just a way to be, you know? And then there's some of us who were meant to explore that and then come into this, hey, life is just like here. There's really nothing you need to do. Just wake up and flow with the river of life and just see what's happening and flow with that, you know, and don't ask a whole lot of questions, and you don't have to be in any of it, you know? So, meaning processes, I think the same thing happens when it comes to action, meaning processes. People feel they need to take tons of, yeah. And same, I would say there. It's for some people, action is more soothing than chilling out because that's where they are. They're in so much angst or so much worry that it would be more soothing to go look for a job than to sit in the energy of the angst. And for them, let them go look for a job. That's their path of least resistance. And for some people, chilling out and just flowing with the river of life makes them very anxious because they're not there yet. They're not in the vibrational vicinity of chilling out yet. So they're like, I just got to do stuff. I just got to keep doing. That's what feels good for me right now. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's just another human experience. And that is all we're here to do, is explore lots of different human experiences. Right? So I'd say that about that. Yeah. Some people, they don't feel at ease until they've done a lot of actions in the day, and they could look back on the actions and go, okay, at least I got 10 things done, you know, and they're walking around with a to-do list. I don't have a to-do list. I wake up whenever I feel like it now. Thank God Milo, my dog, is sleeping in a little bit more now. So I don't have to wake up to an alarm to go feed him because he's yelping downstairs. So I don't have an alarm clock. I don't wake up. I wake up when I feel like it. You know, I take appointments when I feel like it. I work when I feel like it. But that's where I'm at, right? And sometimes what we do is we say, here's where I am, like someone needs to be here. No one needs to be here. And it leaves everyone thinking, if you're not there yet, like there's a there to be, if you're not there yet, you have work to do. And in our spiritual community, everybody's walking around talking, you got to do the work. I've never resonated with that sentence. Got to do the work. Got to do the work. I'm like, oh, but what? I don't want to work. I just don't want to work. How about that? I just don't want to work. Do I have to work? You know, but some people, they resonate with doing the work, and they actually will be in a better place if they did do the work. Like for some people, they like processing their past and doing past life reviews and processing what happened in their childhood that's causing this to happen. And, oh, I have to deal with my inner child and all that stuff, right? That's never resonated for me. That felt like way too much work. For me, I look at all of that, I'm like, but I'm God, incarnated. Why do I gotta do all that shit? Like, why can't I just wake up and connect with the God that I am and cause things to happen, right? But that's where I'm at. For them, if they're not busily doing the work, the inner work, and going to their inner child and going and processing what their mother said and what their dad said, that doesn't resonate for me because I'm not there. But for some people, when they do process like that and they go back and they look at their inner child, it brings them some level of relief. And if that's where they're at, that's where they're at, man. And maybe they'll do that forever. Maybe they'll do that for 10 years and then be done. You know, some people go to counseling, you know, and they're in counseling every week or every 2 weeks for decades. That's just another experience to explore. I have no judgment for that. It's just another experience to explore. Okay, number 3. Can we all agree that no matter what process you use, no matter what tool, no matter what technique, it works sometimes? Can we agree that that's okay? What I see happening is people find a thing, right? And they're like, oh my God, that worked. And then they think that's their holy grail for life. I watched somebody's YouTube channel a few years ago, and she started her YouTube channel. Why? Because she did a manifesting process and won $50 million in the lottery. Of course, Uncle Sam takes half of that. And she was talking about Uncle Sam took half of that, but taxes and all that, right? But she started this YouTube channel about the things she did to manifest $50 million, right? And then someone said to her, can you do it again? And she had videos on her channel. She was scratching the lottery ticket. Nope. And here I am scratching the lottery. Oh, look, I won $2. So I won again using the process. Can we just agree that the thing in the moment that did the thing for you was for that moment? And it's okay to become more of who you truly are and experience something different next time around. And it doesn't mean that you failed, because the thing you did to win the $50 million once didn't work 10 more times that you tried it. Can we agree that that's okay? Can we agree that that one time that you did that one thing and it quote unquote worked was for the experience of that? And you don't have to go chasing it and trying it again over and over and over. Can we just be and just go, what's for me now? And discover something new. Perhaps this journey of life is to continuously discover more and more exciting ways to experience life. And it's not just one thing that you do over and over. Maybe when you did put the fake $1 million bill in the ceiling that one time, it worked. And maybe now, to continue creating more millions, you do something different. Can we agree that that's okay? And that you didn't fail because the $1 million stuck in the ceiling that you saw every morning that you woke up didn't work to create another $1 million? Can we agree that that's fine? Can we agree that we can use one thing, quote unquote, use one process and have it really light us up and celebrate that moment and not get attached to that one thing? Can we agree that you haven't failed if you tried that again and it didn't produce the result that you may have thought it would have? Can we agree that that's fine? Can we agree that we don't have to agree, by the way. Can we agree that or at least explore? Can we at least explore maybe the possibility that there's 7 billion different ways that are here for you to explore, like a child on a playground, and you don't have to get fixated with hopscotch because there's a swing set and there's a sandbox and there's all these different things to play with. Can we agree that that's okay? Because I get people writing into me and they're saying, it worked. It did work in the past, but I'm doing the same thing. And I'm doing what you said, Allison, and it's just not working anymore. So live life. Let it go, maybe. Don't ever do that again, maybe. Look for more exciting ways to live life, maybe. Is that all right? Is that okay? Why is that not okay? Why is it not okay that you tried it again and it didn't work? Can we agree? Even like I mentioned in the last video, the ad that I saw watching a YouTube video that said how I manifested $30,000 in 1 month. It doesn't say how I manifested $30,000 every single damn month. Like how come it doesn't say that? How come? Why is it not saying that? Why is it not saying I've manifested $30,000 every single month for the last 10 years? Right? Why is it not saying that? You know? Can we just agree that whatever thing worked was for that moment? Can we agree that there's plenty more? Or can we at least explore the possibility that there's so much more life to live and so many more experiences to explore, that it's okay to let go of that one thing that, quote unquote, did the magic that one time? Because we watch people with manifestation programs and we think if we buy that thing, it should work every single time. And it may not. And when it doesn't, we go into, I'm doing something wrong because it worked once. I must be failing at this thing that worked once. No. What if you're just here to explore something different now? What if you just let life be what it is for now? Why is that wrong? Why is that failure? Why do we need anything to latch onto? Why can't we just freely live and let this happen and go, cool, that happened that way? I wonder which of the 7 billion other ways and possibilities that exist might come my way next. I might explore that and see if that does anything. I might explore nothing and just be with what is. Just another lens to peek through. Just another lens to peek through. Okay, let's see if anyone's saying anything else. I just love this live. So glad I joined tonight. I'm loving it too. All right, anyone has anything about maybe it won't work another time? Maybe it was just meant to work once for you to have that experience and for you to experience non-attachment. Maybe, possibly, I don't know. Maybe explore that. Okay, moving on to number 4. I gotta keep an eye on the time. I gotta pick up my son. Okay, we got time. Number 4. You may feel some resistance to this, which is totally fine. Asking ourselves, are the things we want to manifest, are those things actually needed for the experiences our soul came here to explore? Are the things that we want to manifest actually needed for the experiences our soul wanted to explore while we were here? Because a lot of what we're striving to manifest, which means it probably won't manifest if you're in striving mode, are societal influences and conditioning. And we're reaching for it because we're supposed to. We're supposed to get a promotion, otherwise we've failed. We're supposed to get a college degree, otherwise we've failed. We're supposed to make X number of dollars by the age of 50, otherwise we have failed. We're supposed to have our own home, otherwise we have failed. But there are places on our planet where none of those things are even relevant. So what makes them relevant for this experience, other than the fact that we were conditioned to expect them? If we had a home and we lost it, we failed. If we're living in an apartment, we failed. If we're 30 years old and we're still living with our parents, we failed. Interestingly, let me add this. In Trinidad, where I was born and raised, if you did not live with your parents, it was an insult to your family. The only reason you don't live with your parents in Trinidad is if you got married and you're having children. That's the only reason to move out of your parents' home. I've had uncles that died in the house that they were born in. They didn't have a reason to leave. They didn't get married and move on to something else. I remember when I came over here to live with my dad and adopted the American standard, I'm gonna go get my own apartment. My dad was so offended. He was so offended. Like, what, am I not good enough to live with? You have to go live with somebody else, because I had a roommate at the time. You have to go find your own place. What, is something wrong with me? He was so offended. But that's culturally, you're not expected to want to live. Like in America, it's failure to launch, the movie said. You're living with your mom still, right? In Trinidad, it's a slap in the face of your parents. If you did, like when I go home, last time I went home when my dad passed, I stayed at an Airbnb. Oh my gosh, it was the talk of the town. It's like, oh my God, she didn't stay with her mother. What's up with that? Oh my God, what's going on? you know, why? Because there's a cultural expectation that you're supposed to be with your parents until something else is going on that is actually driving you out of your home. So a lot of the expectations that we have for the wants and the desires are very, very conditioned. Very, very conditioned. Very conditioned. I'm not suggesting that you give up on any of your desires. That's not what I'm saying here today. I am just opening the conversation for us to all really explore the thing that we label a desire, for us to all fully explore the thing that is on our heart that we think we want to do, and examine the purity of that desire. Is that being influenced by my soul? Is that what my soul wants to explore? Is there genuine desire there? Or is there some tainting of the desire with cultural expectations? Are the disappointments that I'm experiencing a result of the cultural expectations that I have somehow failed or not met yet? Are the failures that I labeled failures actual failures or just experiences? Or did I label them failures because of where I'm living culturally? And in this society, it is considered a failure. I'm just opening the conversation. I have no judgments. I have no conclusions or decisions. I'm just saying, as these desires arise, do we ever get quiet enough to say, is this what my soul wants to explore? Is it really? And you don't even have to ask that question, because when it is, it feels like butter on toast. It feels light. It feels like not a have to. It feels like if I do, cool. If I don't, that's okay. It's just one of the things that I might explore while I'm here. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. And it's this freedom that it arises with, where if it happens, cool. If it doesn't, that's cool too. The idea is there for me to explore. I don't have to have it. It's all right. I'm all right. It's okay. It's just a desire. I have no attachment to it. It's beautiful that it's arising. It feels good that it is arising. It's this human vessel that has this arise within it. And I don't have to do anything else if I don't feel like it. And that's okay. So sometimes we don't even have to ask, is this what my soul wants? We don't even have to examine it. We can if it feels resonant. A lot of the times, if we just feel into what is arising, when it feels light and airy like feathers in the wind, when it feels like that, you know, yeah, soul rising. And it doesn't feel like I have to. It's just there. And if I do, great. And if I don't, it's okay. I'm still here, exploring experiences, and it's totally fine. That's how I know. You may have different ways of knowing. But for me, when a desire arises and it feels warm and tender and light, and sometimes it feels like excitement, but it feels like joyful, playful excitement, not, I gotta get this done. I gotta achieve this by the end of the year. I gotta achieve this in the next 6 months. I have a date by which it must be done. Yeah, and none of that arises with it. Even when it's hyper excitement, it feels giddy. It feels, there's that lightness with it still. It feels playful. It feels like a playground. It feels like, oh, look at what I get to play with next. Maybe, I don't know. But it feels like fun to just think about for now. And I still don't have to have it. But it's fun to think about, and I still don't have to have it. It's okay. That's how I know. How you experience it may be totally different. I don't know. And there's free will, right? Some in our spiritual community don't agree that we have free will. I'm of the perspective that we do. Some are of the perspective that we do not. When we get dead, we gonna know. I'm not gonna argue that. But for me, I experience that there is some level of free will. So whatever you're chasing after, you can literally bully manifestation into place. You know what I mean? By effort, right? But it's not the free flowing river of life at that point. It's more of a, I have to hammer this thing into being, into existence, you know? But we're free to do that too. You know, our divine team, angelic realm, unseen beings do not ever sit in judgment of what we choose to do. And some days it feels like we're flowing with the river of life, and some days it feels like we're efforting. And every day, our divine beings are like, they're doing this thing called life. It's what they came to do. And it's cool that they're exploring all these different flavors of what it is, you know? So that's number 4. Are the things we want to manifest actually needed for the experiences our souls came here to explore? Just a question. Doesn't have to have an answer. Maybe just need to be explored, maybe not. I'm just opening the conversation. All right. Mark said, and maybe it will work again. It's all possible. Yeah, or not. And that's also fine. That's the freedom with which we can flow. If it happens again, I'm not attached to it. And if it happens again, cool, I'll celebrate it when it does. And there's this freedom, like a flag in the wind, right? It's just this freedom where it's not like this hard attachment that it, well, I have to make it happen. I bet I can make it happen again. You know what I mean? Just flow with the river of life a little bit, you know, just let it be, let it be. If it's calling you from that place of gentle breeze, like, yeah, I think I wanna, you know what? That would be fun to explore again. Go for it. Or force it, you know, doesn't matter, right? Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Susie says, gospel? No, we ain't preaching no gospel. We're just having an open conversation. You know, gospel truths here. Just an open conversation. All right, ready to move on to number 5? When we're telling someone how to manifest something, are we at times doing so totally blind to what themes their soul wanted to explore in this incarnation? Let me repeat that because that's a deep one. When we're out there telling people how to manifest something because we did our little trick and it worked, so now we have to go tell the world that that's the way. When we're telling someone how to manifest something, are we at times doing so totally blind to what themes their soul wanted to explore in this incarnation? So let me share some examples of that. Someone is in a relationship that from your perspective, they just need to get the hell out. I don't know why she with him. I don't know why he with her, right? What if their soul came to explore that as part of the theme? You don't know. You don't know crap about what their soul came here to explore. And I say that as much to Allison as I say it to you, because there are times in our desire and our love for others, we go, girl, listen, go watch one of Allison's videos. Go watch this video, girl, because that's going to wake you up. No, it might not. It might not wake them up because they're supposed to move through this experience in order to have something else on the other side. Might that be possible? Might that be a theme? Like when I was in suicidal depression 25 years ago, For whatever reason, that's what I was exploring. And then I recognized what was going on and I was done with that exploration. No one could have pulled me out of that at that point in time. It was mine to explore. Now I have a tremendous amount of empathy for people who are in suicidal depression or are in a very dark place, because I've been in a dark place. Maybe the darkness that I experienced there was part of the gift I'm here to impart into the world, part of the level of empathy that I was here to have for others that are experiencing different levels of pain. Maybe that was supposed to be part of my journey. At times I say, well, maybe I didn't have to make it that hard. And perhaps I didn't. But it was on the buffet of experiences for the incarnation of Allison. And there it was. And so I explored it, right? And here I am on the other side. When someone says they're experiencing pain or darkness or they're feeling really, I know what that feels like. I can empathize with that because I had the experience. And maybe it was a gift to me to have had the experience so that I can have that level of empathy with others. Maybe some of what you all are experiencing is for that very purpose of having the empathy for others. You don't know shit about what their soul came here to explore. So who are you to tell them that this 6-step process that you got from this video is the way for them? Sure, share it. But when you share it, how about we share it like this? Girl, I don't know shit about what your soul came here to experience. And I don't even know if this could work for you because it might not resonate, not one iota. But this was helpful to me. I have no clue if it's going to be helpful to you. It might not do a damn thing, trust, because I don't know what your soul is exploring. But I can only share what has been helpful for me. I got no clue if it's going to be helpful for you. And honey, you might not even like the video that I'm going to send you. And I am okay with that because I respect the fact that you're here having your own experiences. If we can have a conversation with people like that, you give them the freedom to be with what their soul came here to explore, maybe. When I'm in private sessions with people, I could have 10 people bring up the topic of money. And my divine team addresses that in a different way with every single soul. Because everyone's here doing something different. And everyone's here exploring something different. So for me to presume that what was the cure, the fix, the whatever for me is the ticket for you is rather presumptuous. You can go there. I'm just opening the conversation that maybe none of us know shit about what somebody else's soul came here to explore. Maybe the disease that they're having was, if you ever heard Anita Moorjani's story, everything she tried didn't work. She tried the herbs, she tried the natural healing, she tried energy healing, she tried everything, and she died of stage 4 cancer. And then she came back, and look at her mission in the world today. That was her soul's theme. When she was in the place of stage 4 cancer, having a horrific time, some of us in our health could look at her and go, it's probably because she manifested something. It's probably because this. It's probably because that. Well, maybe if she does this energy healing, maybe if she sees this energy healer, maybe if she does this chakra clearing, if she da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. We're not sure on the recommendations. I'm just suggesting. You can take what resonates, discard what does not. I'm just suggesting that whenever we say to somebody, here's what might work, let's put an emphasis on the might. And also add, girl, I don't know shit about what your soul's here doing. I don't know. I don't know. So if you say you want to go here, girl, go. I trust you. You know what's best for you. I trust you. Can we be that open with others? Because we don't know what their soul is here exploring. We don't know why they have a lump in their breast and they're a spiritual teacher. We look at spiritual teachers and we expect them to be perfect. Every spiritual teacher that I have followed has had some sort of illness in one way, shape, or form. Okay. I can't remember all the different people now, but every single person has had something happen. And we sit in our place and, well, I thought you connected. I thought you were a channeler. I thought you were this. I thought you have no idea what the purpose is for what they're experiencing and why they're not healed yet, or why they didn't get over this situation yet. You don't know. So you don't know if what you're suggesting is for them. You just know that it helped you. So stay with that. Girl, I'm just sharing this because it helped me. I don't know jack about whether it's going to help you. I really don't know. It might not do a damn thing for you, right? Oh, here's this video of this 3-step thing that a million people experience healing with. But girl, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what your soul came here to explore. I don't know why you're in what you're in. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I just don't know. Okay. And let it be that, because we don't know. But when we get excited about a process or excited about a thing, we think that, and we often come from a very loving space, right? But I love this person and I want them to have a better experience, right? And they're suffering so much emotionally, mentally, spiritually, physically, whatever. I want them to experience self-healing. I want them to know that there's a way that they can energetically heal themselves. I want them to know that if they let go of unforgiveness, maybe they won't have that lump or blah, blah. It's good, but share it. Can we expand? Can we just expand a little bit more and just say, girl, I can only tell you what I know from the experiences I've had so far. I don't know if this is going to work for you. I really don't know. I don't know what your soul came here to explore. I really don't know. I'm going to sit by you. I'm going to share with you. I'm going to, even when I am having private conversations with people, I'm like, I'm just going to share with you what's coming through. Please feel free to take what resonates in this card, what does not. Please do. Some of what I'm sharing may not make sense for 3 years. So write it down and put it aside. If it doesn't resonate, that's okay. Maybe it's supposed to come through today and then hit you like a bolt of lightning 6 years from now. I don't know. So I can't say everything you hear from me and my divine team, that's it for now. Go do it now. I can't say that. I can just tell you what I'm receiving. Write it down if you want. Go back to the recording. It's fine, but know that you always have the freedom to take what resonates in this card, what does not. I don't know what's going to work for you. I don't know if this is for this moment or 6 months from now or 12 years. I don't know. I'm just sharing what's coming through, right? And so can we, when we have a conversation with people about quote unquote how to manifest stuff, can we do it with more openness and with the awareness that we have no clue what their soul came here to explore? Because we don't. We don't. So that's number 5. Let me see. I believe that the darkness serves a purpose. Always. Everything in life serves a purpose. Nothing that doesn't. Mark is saying, this is Anne, not Mark. Okay, Anne, not Mark. It's my experience that for the most part, only people who resonate with what I have to share are attracted to me. Yeah, for the most part. And you'll also get people who aren't. And that's okay. Maybe that experience is there to just have the experience, I would say just about everyone that comes through for a private session, because I say so much on my private session registration page anyway, that the expectation is set that this is a very open conversation. So people who come in for private sessions with me, it's just, we know what we're doing, right? You articulate so well what I've been thinking about lately about law of attraction. Yeah. I'm glad that law of attraction is a craze in the world, because it's opening up the planet, right, to the fact that, oh, wait a minute, we create our own reality. Wait a minute, right? That's fine. it's a path, and it's a universal law for sure, it's but so is gravity. Gravity is a universal law, and we don't, like, ain't nobody walking around going, girl, listen, I put my sofas on the floor and it did not float up. I have mastered the law of gravity. Come to my house. It's not floating up. I did these 3 steps. I moved it. I put it in the corner. It did not move. The law of gravity is working for me, girl. Ain't nobody saying that. But we are that way about the law of attraction because we haven't actually, exactly, right? We haven't actually just accepted it as, oh, yeah, life is just a reflection of who we are. It's just a reflection, right? Nobody's saying that, but everybody's sounding like that about the law of attraction. Girl, these 6 steps worked for me. Everybody's saying that about the law of attraction. It's just a law. It's just there. You can't use a law. I mean, you can use the law of gravity to throw something. Of course, gravity brings that down to the ground, right? You can use it in that way, but law of attraction is just looking at you and putting up matches. That's all that's happening, right? But we walk around with all these stories. Girl, what I manifested. I'm all these videos on YouTube, every once in a while I use it. I learned the law of attraction and how to use it. As soon as I hear that, I'm like, just like you learn to use law of gravity and how to use it. Oh, Lord. But it's where we are, It's where we are. YT says, gravity, now I have something to brag about. I've totally mastered the law of gravity. I know we should all be going, girl, look at my feet. It ain't floating, girl. Do you see me taking a step and not floating up? Shoot. Took me 54 years to master this. That's how we are with the law of attraction, buddy. It's where we are. It is what it is. It's okay. All right. Number 6. Keep an eye on the time because I got to pick up my son at 10 o'clock. Number 6. And this is expanded awareness for me. Is it really just you, the human you, that's manifesting? Or is this life experience a co-creation between you and your soul? Now, everybody's going to say, well, of course, Allison, it's a co-creation between me and my soul. We're not separate, right? I get that. But sometimes we cannot see that what is happening is exactly what needs to happen for us to move into what our soul came here to explore. I'll share my own personal story here. In corporate America, I worked for a company for 18 years. And just rose through the ranks. Like for 16 of those 18 years, I never got a bad review. Performance reviews, remember those? But we did them. I wrote them, I received them. But for 16 years straight, I got stellar reviews, bonuses, raises, 16 years straight. Allison is just all of that. Everybody loves Allison. Everybody loves Allison's work. Everybody's raving about Allison. Allison's awesome. 16 years straight. Rose through the ranks into senior management. At the 16-year mark in my senior management position, I got a bad review. Now, it wasn't a bad review per se, but I was comfortable running one department and they wanted to shove me because I was good at it, wanted to shove me into managing lots of different departments and also wanted me to go across the world training other managers. I don't like to travel. I'm a homebody. So I was resisting that, but not verbally saying it. But it was showing in my work. Like I would not want to go to the meetings for the other department they wanted to shove under me. And they're like, she's not participating, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. And so I got a bad review for not wanting to grow, not wanting to move up the ranks. And because I was never a person that aspired to be VP. I mean, all of the promotions that I had ever gotten was kind of like, oh, look, they promoted me. It's like by accident. In fact, the first time I was asked to be manager by my VP, I looked him straight in the eye. I'm like, why? Like, why you want me to be manager? That was the first conversation I had with the invitation to be a manager. I never was aspiring to move through the ranks, but I just moved through the ranks. At the 16-year mark, I got a quote unquote bad review. Suddenly, I realized, wait a minute, my VP gets to decide how much money I earn. Like, I didn't consider that before because I was getting money all the time, right? 5-figure bonuses, going up the ranks, right? Enjoying life in my corporate world. That review, I went, so his perspective of me determines how much I get in my paycheck? Like, I never considered that before. And the rebellious Allison within me was like, oh, hell to the effing no. You, first of all, we don't have a good relationship, me and my VP. Because Allison, I had a reputation for never backing down from anybody in position. Not in a bad way. People actually liked it because I was the person at the boardroom table that would just say what the elephant in the room is while everybody's tiptoeing around it. Like one time my president of the company was in the room and everybody's tiptoeing this issue that nobody wants to talk about with the president in the room. And I went, Jack, nobody wants to say this because everybody's scared because you're in the room, but this is what's actually happening, okay? And everybody's like, she gonna get fired. I never did. But I was the mouthpiece because people would tap on my shoulder sometimes and go, Allison, when we go into that room, can you ask this question? Because everybody knew I feared no one, right? So I didn't have a really good relationship with my VP because he liked to tout his VP-ness. Like one time we had a conversation and he said to me, well, you should go through me because I'm the vice president of this organization. I looked him straight in the eye and I was like, am I going through you because of your title? Or am I going through you because it's a really good idea to go through you? He completely stopped his conversation. He was like, did she just challenge my authority? I don't know what to do. That was Allison in corporate America. But hey, I rose through the ranks. So he gave me a bad review, right? And said I wasn't taking ownership for these different organizations that he wanted me to own. And it was true because I didn't want to do it. It's like, I don't want to be stressed. I like my job. Now you're giving me all these different departments I would get stressed over, But that was my wake-up call, though. That was the first time I realized, wait a minute, this man is responsible for my paycheck. Hold up. Hold the damn train, right? That's the first time I ever considered not working at that company. That was the first time I ever considered entrepreneurship. And it was right around that time that I had that coming to Jesus moment where I went into work and knew that I had to leave. And I did a video about that, how I knew it was time to quit my job on my old YouTube channel. But you would look at that and go, I manifested a bad review. I manifested a smaller bonus. I manifested right? That was the catalyst for me being this that I am today. I would not be here. I used to say to people at that job, because it was a great job, great company, great money, all that, right? I used to say to people, you're going to have to wheel me out of here on a casket. I am never leaving this company. I used to say that to everybody. But that bad review was the catalyst where I went, bing, hold up. You ain't controlling the money I'm making, sir. No. I don't like this. I don't like this equation. So if you like me, I get plenty of money. If you don't like me, I don't get plenty of money. No, hell no. No, wait up. I got to find a way to make my own damn money. That's when entrepreneurship was birthed within me. And then I had that coming to Jesus moment when I went to work. So I believe that my soul was working in unison with me to get me to this that I do today. But back then, it looked like a bad review. It looked like something bad happened. All of you that are in so-called bad situations, I used to be in the place where I'm like, how did I manifest this? Let's examine that. Even a couple of weeks ago when I did the live stream, I was in the place where I'm like, but what is this here for? I'm not even there anymore, guys. Evolution is ceaseless, okay? I'm in the place where I'm like, just trust every damn thing is going to work out in my favor. Just trust it. And be with what is arising. Be with the anger. Be with the angst. Be with the whatever. Because something's brewing. So it's coming up within you for you to experience it so you can move past it, through it, in it, whatever. I don't even ask the question, how did I manifest this anymore? Pointless. What? That's going back. Why am I going back there? Like, why am I examining how I manifested it, 20 minutes, like 2 days ago? No, I'm not going back there. No, I don't ever ask that question anymore. And I'm coming to the point where I'm not even asking, what is this here for? I just trust that it's here for me. Correct. I don't even examine, is this here? Hearing snoring, I didn't realize he was right at my feet. I don't even ask that question anymore, because I'm in the space where it's got to be working out for my benefit in some way, shape, or form, whether I see it or not. And so there's this part of me that goes, it is what it is. It must be here for some reason. I don't have to expend any effort to figure out what the reason is. And you could do that too. That's totally fine. It's totally fine to sit in exploration of, what is this here for? Because when I was there, it really benefited me to do that. But now I feel like I'm moving into, it's just here. It's what's supposed to be here right now, because we think everything that's happening is not supposed to happen to me. This is not supposed to happen to me. I should be a better manifester than that. Why not just throw your arms around whatever is happening, even the anger, even the resentment, even the hatred, even the whatever is arising, and just go, if I'm experiencing it, I'm supposed to. Because we think if we have anything less than joy occurring, we're somehow off the path. Like, there's no path. There's just life experiences to explore. So if your exploration is frustration, if your exploration is bitterness, anger, resentment, if your exploration is disappointment, it's just an exploration. Who the hell cares how you manifested it? Who the hell cares? And for some reason, in this law of attraction craze and the manifesting and you gotta be joyful all the damn time, because if you're not, you're in sin against the law of the attraction, right? Yes, I will say that I am mostly joyful, even with the little puppy now. I've moved past. I was saying to my girlfriend, why do we ever get balled up and tangled up in all of these moments of frustration? It all works out anyway. Now that the puppy's pretty much house trained, I love him. He's bringing so much joy into my life. I play all day long with this puppy. He's just joy, 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 joy all the time. I love having him around now. I went through the phase of frustration. I went through, everything is impermanent, right? All of these things that are arising, what can we just move into the knowing that whatever is arising is impermanent? Can we? Everything is impermanent. It's here temporarily. Someone wrote to me that her dog died and she's going through grief. And she's like, oh, I fell out of the joy that I used to have. No, you fell into another experience that you're supposed to have. We think when we are experiencing disappointment or all these different things, we fell off the joy wagon. Oh my God, I'm going to manifest shit because I fell off the joy wagon, No, just go, well, I was there in joy 2 hours ago and now I'm here in frustration and going to explore that now. Can we just be open to what is and not be so scared that every negative emotion is going to just cause crap to happen? Can we just let the crap happen and just go, I'm just going to stay in the knowing that in some way, shape, or form, this is going to work out in my favor. I don't know. I can't see it. I can't see how right now. But I gotta just believe that if it's in the buffet of my life experiences, then I'm supposed to experience it. So let me go ahead and experience it, Rather than this hyper examination that we do because of this whole manifestation craziness. Hyper examination of how did I manifest this? I thought I was doing somebody. I'll read what they wrote in a second, but she's in the how did I thought I manifested something and now something bad is manifesting. She's like, no, nothing has gone wrong. You just moved from one experience to another experience. And this one is not as pleasant as the last, but it's just here. We do this thing with life where we're like, this experience was better than this experience. From our soul's perspective, however, all experiences are equal. So the death of your dog is equal to the joy you had before that occurred. From your soul's perspective, from your human perspective, I had joy and now I have grief. I had joy, now I have grief. And we like put it into levels and bars and no, from your soul's perspective, I had joy and then I moved into grief, which is impermanent. And I'll at some point move back into joy. I don't know when that is. And then I'll move into the next thing, whatever that is. And it's all here from your soul's perspective. All of it is equal. Like blissing out on my deck, that experience from my soul's perspective is equal to the frustration I experienced with my puppy. Because it's all exploration. And it's all just experiences, which is what we came for anyway. Like, if my soul wanted to experience joy 100% of the time, it wouldn't have come into this damn body. I'm just saying. My soul would have stayed in the unseen realm. It would have come into a human body, right? The ebb and flow of life, the river of life it hits rocks sometimes. It goes around rocks sometimes. It billows and it has all of these different flavors. And we want to make one better than another, but from our soul's perspective, think about that. When you're going, this is a bad experience, what's your soul thinking? No, really just another experience. That's all it is. Just another one. Just another one. Move through it. Go ahead, move through it. It's just another one, right? And a lot of the experiences that we're having is in concert with our soul's decision and what it wanted to explore. Very similar to the point number 4, are our souls, are the things we want to manifest actually needed for the experiences we want to have? And even back to 5, are we totally blind to what our souls want to experience in this thing that is arising? Because we think it's bad. So it holds no value. But from our soul's perspective, every experience is equally valuable. Your soul's not going, that great marriage you had, that was really valuable. This one that sucks right now, not as valuable. Like our soul is not doing that. Our soul's going, one experience, next, all equal. There's no levels. It's like all on the same level of value. There's no experience more valuable than another. It's all equally valuable. But we, in our human form, in our dense human bodies, in our physical form, we want to because we're conditioned to put things into levels and bad and good and better and not as good. It's all like your soul doesn't see it that way. Listen, boo, you pop out of this body, your soul's going to look back and go, that was all right. All of it was good. All of it was good. That fight you had with your mama, that was good. Equal to the blissful moment you had in meditation from your soul's perspective. You can move in and out of these different experiences, but your soul's perspective is not saying this is higher and lower. It's just with what with what density or freedom you want to experience your experiences, right? But we have all these levels that while we're in them. Another of my own life story. In 2013, when I experienced the beginning of my spiritual awakening, I was in a $25,000 mastermind. The thing that broke me, that created my spiritual awakening, I was in this mastermind and I thought, I finally arrived. Everyone, because you go into all these masterminds for six-figure entrepreneurs, and then you get in there and you realize everybody broke. Ain't nobody gonna tell you that. But half the time you go into these masterminds for six-figure entrepreneurs and everybody's struggling. People mortgaging their houses to get into the $25,000 program, etc., and they're broke and they're not making any money. And nobody's gonna tell you that, right? But I had gone through so many of those. I went into this one, this $25,000 one, and finally I figured, oh, everybody making money, which actually wasn't true. There were some people struggling too, but I would say most of the people were making a substantial amount of money. I was like, finally, I'm with people that are making money, right? Now I feel like I felt like I was with my people, and felt like this is where I need to be to move forward in the way that I want to, because all the other masterminds I've been in felt like, gosh, I feel like I'm helping the people in the mastermind with marketing. And, I was like complaining like that, right? There was such a push in that mastermind for making money. And the person running it, he was doing what he's called here to do. He's doing his thing in the world, which is push you to make money. And it wasn't like pushing you per se, but challenging you. If you made $20,000 that month, he would say, okay, now move into the $30,000 club, sort of, kind of, to the people who are making 30. And if you're making 30, let's move into the 50. And if you're making 50, let's move into the 60,000 a month, right? And there was this push to make more and more money and close more. He was very much a salesperson. Close more and more sales, close more and more sales. And I just woke up one day and I snapped. And I was like, something in me went, this isn't how I'm supposed to live. That push. It's not how I'm supposed to live. And came my spiritual awakening. I couldn't listen to his voice anymore. Nothing wrong with him. He was a really amazing person. I couldn't listen to his voice anymore. I couldn't show up for the calls anymore. I had paid my money. This was 3 months in, people. I already paid my $25,000, non-refundable. Okay. All right. So I wasn't getting anything back. But my soul was done. I felt it. I couldn't explain what was happening. I couldn't even find the words. But I couldn't show up for the subgroup calls and the mastermind calls. I couldn't even hear the sound of his voice. Everything was like, it was like fingernails on a chalkboard. I didn't understand what was happening back then. I didn't even know what a spiritual awakening was back then. I didn't even know the label back then. All I knew, it was something stopped me and I couldn't do it anymore. And I was like, there's some part of me that was screaming, you don't have to live like this. You don't have to put in this much effort. You don't have to chase money. There was a part of me was screaming that. And I was completely confused. I did not know what else to do. Marketing with manipulation and closing sales was all I knew. From the outside looking in, you would say she's confused. She doesn't know what's happening. She's having a nervous breakdown, blah, 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 blah. You could label it all that. But my soul was bursting through. It took a couple of years for me to figure out what the hell was going on because I didn't know. But my soul was bursting through. But everybody in that program could be saying she quit. She couldn't handle the challenge of making more money, or whatever stories they chose to tell after I left. But my soul was ready for another path. So number 6, some of the things that we're experiencing is in unison with our soul's intention for this experience, this exploration. It may be a theme that your soul is exploring, why this thing is occurring. So rather than resisting it and asking, why did I manifest this? Or, why not just be with the thing that's arising? Why not just say, guess I'm supposed to be here. For whatever reason, I'm supposed to be here. I went through many years I've never run out of money, but I've had an incessant fear of running out of money. And I got to the place where that fear held me so tightly that I surrendered. And I was like, fuck it. If I lose this damn house, I'll just go live under a freaking bridge. I cannot live with this fear anymore. I cannot live with this, because I had this single parent fear. Like, I'm the only one making money. I don't have family in America. I have my sister, but she ain't gonna take care of me. She's going through her own life stuff. And there was this underlying theme that I was of running out of money, I might run out of money. What if I run out? I've never run out of money. I've always had money in my bank account. I have never run out of money. But that fear was there. And then, because you could look at that and go, why is she still having that fear all these years of making money? Oh, why is this still coming up for her? Why is this? You don't know. Maybe it's a theme your soul came to explore so you could, boom, break through and finally be on the other side. And I woke up one day and I was like, I cannot hold on to this fear anymore. And I was like, I don't care. I'm not, if I lose the house, I lose the house. I don't care. I'll go live under a bridge and I'll explore that experience. That's just the way it's going to be. I'm not going to live in the fear of losing my home anymore. And there was no threat to lose my home. I just had a perceived threat though. In my mind, there was this perceived threat because it's just me making income. And for some reason, I'm not enough, right? Quote unquote. And I was like, what if I'm not enough? What if I run out? There's no husband to fall back on. My parents ain't rich. There's no, stash of money that somebody's going to send me. You know what I mean? There's no stash of money anywhere in my family, So there was this thing like, what if I run out? I'm it. There's nobody to fall back on, right? And I just got to the place where I was like, I have to face the fear now. I have to face it. I'm done. I'm done. This fear keeps, because it kept, I would move past it and then it would come up again. And move past it and it would come up again. And I had to, at some point, go, I'm going to face you. I'm tired of you. Tired of you coming up and coming up. Fine, take me out. Let social services take my kids from off the street because I don't have a house. I don't care. Right? I was like, I'll go back to Trinidad and live with my mother and father. I don't care. I'm not going to hold on to this fear anymore. And I had to release it at that point. And coming out of the mastermind where I was, I'm with my people making six figures. For some reason, that gave me some kind of security that if I'm with these people, they will continue to uphold me in my desire to make sales. And it's true. If everybody around you is making a certain amount of money, for some reason you rise to the making that kind of money. And that's what was happening when I was in that mastermind. And so letting go of that caused that fear to surface again. But all the things that came up as a result of being in the mastermind and what happened after the mastermind, the fears and all that came up, was part of my breakthrough to this person that I am today. This is part of my soul's purpose here, right? And you may not have a soul's purpose that looks like this in the public doing blah, blah, blah. Your soul's purpose may be doing some little thing at home, right? It may be grand, it may be small, it doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be any particular thing. But my point is, while all of these things were so-called exploding in my world or imploding or falling apart, my soul was going, yeah, she about to be on the thing that I came here to do with her, I didn't know any of this was in my future. Channeling? Like, no, right? None of this was in Allison's picture. So sometimes when you're in this uncomfortable place, you're there because your soul knows that going through that is the path that would bring you into something else. So while you're there in the fury of it all, in the horror of it all, in the heartache of it all, in the pain of it all, maybe your soul is working in concert with that particular experience, which is another reason why we don't come into people's lives and say, yeah, here's how to get out of that. And maybe they're supposed to be in it because it's a theme that their soul came here to explore so that they can have the experience of surpassing that, right? I think it was Bashar that had this story, and I'll share this too, where someone loved music and wanted to have this really high-end stereo in their car, but they did not have the money for the high-end stereo in their car. So they bought the best kind of stereo they could afford. It was better than what came with the car, but not really what they really wanted. Their heart really wanted that banging stereo, right? And they bought that other stereo, kind of upgraded. It's the best that they could do in the moment. And that stereo got stolen. Now, they have the story of, I manifested the better stereo, right? And it got stolen. How did I manifest this theft? What did I do wrong? My vibe was high in that moment. And this thing still, people say that all the time. My vibe was so high. Why is this happening? Let it. Maybe it has nothing to do with your freaking high vibe. Maybe it's just the thing that needs to occur so you could release attachment from one thing or another or move through this particular thing. Maybe it has nothing to do with how high your vibe is. Maybe not. Maybe. I'm just saying. I'm just opening the conversation. So this person had their stereo stolen. And they could have gone into a place where, why is this all happening to me? I was, really in a high vibe. I manifested this better stereo, whatever. Filed a claim with their insurance company to replace the stereo that was stolen and was given the exact amount of money to buy the higher end stereo that they had. When we're in that place of discomfort, maybe not so much wonder how you manifested it. Maybe just embrace what is. Maybe just go into that place of, maybe this is working out in my favor some kind of how. And just stay with that, knowing, because it is. Everything is just fine. Everything is always working out, except when we tell ourselves the story that it's not. And so I'll share another story. So I talked in my last live stream about the workmen that screwed things up in my house, right? One of them did the work better than I thought they would ever do it. After they first told me they can't do it any other way. And I just said, whatever, do it whatever way you think you should do it. If I don't like it, I'll just change it. I just refuse to fight, just let it go. Well, they did it better than I even envisioned it, okay? Other story, I had another workman come. You could say, well, Allison, how come you attracting all these workmen? They're screwing up stuff at your house, right? I got it done better than it ever would have been done for less money than I would have ever imagined. The other workman come, royally screwed up something. I mean, royally screwed up something at my house. I couldn't feel anger for this person. I don't know why. I didn't want to argue with him. I just said, hey, look at what just happened here. And he goes, okay, I'm sorry. I'll come back and fix it. I didn't argue. I didn't fight. I didn't tell him I'm not going to pay you. I paid him his money. He is coming back to my house next week to do a whole bunch of stuff for free. I didn't need anything done for free. I could pay for it all. You never know why crap is arising. We have this one-pronged vision of, I manifested crap because my vibe wasn't high. That's one perspective. We have this myopic vision of, I manifested crap because I don't know how to manifest. I manifested crap because whatever. But sometimes your vibe isn't in alignment, or maybe vibrationally, yes, you attracted the crap, but your soul is going, but guess what's going to happen on the other side though? And you're going, why did I manifest this? How did this happen? And your soul's going, just let it happen. Just let it. That's what my soul was doing with the workman. I couldn't understand how come I didn't experience frustration at all. I was looking at him. I'm like, how come I'm not feeling any, like, how did you do this? You know? But look at what happened on the other side. I didn't need that. I didn't need a whole bunch of stuff done for free. He texted me, he goes, I'm going to come and spend a whole day at your house. I'm going to fix a whole bunch of stuff. No charge. Maybe I wasn't supposed to get angry, so I could allow that to occur. Not that you're not supposed to get angry. If you want to get angry, whatever. You're just going through whatever emotions are at play in the moment, you know? I wrote something here that kind of summarizes this, and I'll end on this note, and then I'll check your comments. What if we simply accepted that everything is being divinely orchestrated, even when crap is being manifested? What if we just chilled out and chose to believe that everything will work out just fine, even when it seems to be completely blowing up in our faces, even when it seems that we aren't manifesting the thing that we want? What if we just do whatever resonates most and discard what does not and just flowed with the river of life? What if we just chilled out instead of chasing? Explore all things with childlike curiosity versus searching for the way. Experience all challenges with compassionate curiosity, meaning no self-judgment, just curious as to what it's here for. Or not, maybe just live with life. Accept all experience. What if we accept all experiences as perfect for our own unique lives and our own unique soul's exploration? What if we accept that your life isn't supposed to be like mine? Nor is mine supposed to be like yours. What if we accepted that there's no place in life that we need to get to, so we can just kick back and enjoy the ride? What if we accepted that what if we accepted other people's experiences as perfect for their own life's exploration, no changes required? Tough for us to do when we're watching other people. It's perfect for them. That's the exploration they came to explore. No changes required. What if we accepted that nothing has gone wrong and that in the midst of everything, all is well, always? Because that is always true. Your soul ain't never ruffled. My soul's never ruffled about what I'm going through. Why? Because our souls know that all is well. What if we accepted that all experiences and all paths are equally valid? None is better than another. We are simply here exploring different experiences. Everybody take a deep breath. This is just an open conversation. This is not a teaching that you have to accept. These are just different spectacles to try on, some of which may resonate, others of which may not, all of which is just an exploration. That's all I'm here to share. So now I'm going to go to your comments, and I'm going to go to the two emails that I got too. Let's see. Whoop, whoop. Scrolling. Dolores is saying, I like the idea of letting things arise and not questioning so much. It makes it so less stressful. But I think, I don't know, we're just in a time and place where we're incessantly questioning, why is this happening to me? Why did I manifest this? How can I manifest something different? Why is this happening? Maybe I need to explore this. And we're digging. You could also just kick back and chill. Netflix and chill. You can dig. I mean, there's nothing wrong with digging too. But all of this is so soothing and beautiful. Nice thoughts to bring to bed. You are welcome. You are welcome. Thank you all. Good to hear it. Always good to hear it some more. Carolyn is saying, I agree with you, Anne. Thank you so much, Allison, for spending this Saturday night with us. You are very welcome. What a great perspective, says Susie. Anna saying, love your summary. Is there some way we can, where you can share that again in writing? Yeah, I'll send it. I'll send it by email next week when I'm sending out my email. I'll send a link to what I wrote down here. That's fine. Carolyn saying that was great. Rebecca saying thanks so much for sharing beautiful insights. Allison, as usual, what you shared is aligned with where I am. Continued blessings for you all, for you in all of this. Well, yeah, all is well. Dolores is saying I like this summary. Yeah, and then for me, I'm just in a place of Netflix and chill, man. I don't watch Netflix, but I am in that very chill place. Where's my puppy? Oh, okay. He's black, and sometimes I can't see him. Well, he's dark brown. Sometimes I can't see him in a dark place. Yeah, life is Netflix and chill for me, man. Let me go ahead and read the email that went. The email that I mentioned. The two emails that I mentioned. Okay. So this subscriber wrote. Stop doing that. Subscriber wrote, for whatever reason this week I've been pondering and no, sorry, that's what I said. Hello, Allison. I want to submit a question. In this moment, I feel in so much despair. I don't find an exit, and I have tried it all: meditations, affirmations, etc. Let me pause here. What's wrong with feeling despair? You have to first believe that there's something wrong with experiencing despair in order to keep trying things to get away from it. Now, I am not saying to not find something to soothe the despair. I am simply offering the perspective that maybe the despair is fine to experience. I was in a tremendous amount of frustration when I just got this puppy. Unexpected, very unexpected frustration. I just let it be. I had my frustrating moments. I had whatever was arising. And now I'm back to the place of bliss with the puppy, because I know that everything is temporary and impermanent. What if we don't have to try a whole bunch of stuff to get rid of the despair? What if we just sat there with it and just went, guess I'm in despair now. Guess I'll allow myself to feel this. Guess it's okay to feel this. Because if it wasn't okay, you wouldn't be feeling it. I'm just saying. So continuing with her email, I've been awake since maybe 4 years ago. With time, I got better on trusting what is and having faith no matter what situation or circumstance. Also feeling happy and grateful. I have a goal that was put in me almost a year ago. I knew it was something I wouldn't want in the past or choose to do it if it was not given to me by the universe. So she's saying, this didn't come from me. I'm feeling like this came from the universe. But what is the universe though, girl? We love using that term. What's the universe? I did a whole video series on that. But yes, sometimes your soul will kind of bring up some desires. I don't doubt that may have been what it was. But what we do when that happens is we latch onto it like it's a forever thing. Like your soul will go, try this for now. And we'll go, I'm going to hold on to it forever. And your soul's going, well, that really wasn't needed. You can let go. It's fine. Sometimes that happens though. Okay. I was trusting it will happen. And in the process, I was feeling great flow with high vibration. It was like that for so long that nothing could faze me. Yes. And it's okay to have a high vibe that's not attached to anything either. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with the high vibe being triggered by your trust that this thing is going to happen. But sometimes there's a lot of attachment to the thing happening, which creates the high vibe. And when the thing doesn't happen, boom, your vibe plummets, all of which is fine. It's just an exploration, but be aware of what may be occurring there. So she's saying, so I attract an event that seems to be the rewards of all my patience and faith, like it was heaven. What if all of life is heaven? What if it's not just a manifesting of the thing that you want that's heaven? What if simply living life is heaven? What if simply being here in this body is heaven? What if having every single experiences, the good ones, quote unquote good and the bad, what if it's all heaven? What if we're the only ones giving everything meaning, and we give some things the meaning of heaven and some things the meaning of hell? And therefore we experience only some things as heaven and only some things as hell. What if? Just another lens to look through. I felt so happy and so in alignment, and something happened and everything changed for the worse, something so terrible that it devastated me. Sometimes the devastation that we feel, sometimes, not all the time, is life showing us what we're attached to, and life beckoning us into non-attachment so that we can feel less pain, less misery, more letting go. Sometimes the ups and downs are there for that purpose. Not all the time. Sometimes it's there to show us what we're attached to. Because if the attachment weren't there, and it's fine that it's there, I have attachments. I have attachments. If something happened to my puppy, I would be a little bit devastated. I'll flow with it. But I'll feel the human disappointment. I'll feel the human grief. I'll feel that. I'm sure I'll feel it. Because I have a little bit of attachment. He's with me all day long now. He's now a part of my experience. He's part of my family, you know. So I may feel some of that. So there's some attachment there. There's nothing wrong with that. If that were to happen, I'll feel it, and then I'll feel less attached, and life will go on because everything is impermanent anyway. So I changed for the worse, and something so terrible it devastated me. The thing is, it got me in so much pain. Exactly. Attachment brings a lot of pain. I still am not able to recover. And I have always been the happy kind before my spiritual awakening. Why we're always in such a rush to recover is interesting to me. I get that it hurts, and I get that nobody wants to feel pain, and I get that misery is not comfortable, and I get that there's a lot of shoulds in our spiritual community about not experiencing any of that. And I'll put myself in there. I'm probably the giver of some of the shoulds at times as well. But maybe the pain is there for us to just experience it at times and not to rush to recovery, and to just be with it and see what it's helping us to see. You know, we feel like we failed if we are in pain, or if we're in some kind of mental misery, we feel like we're in pain. Like I said, if our soul wanted to be completely blissful, zero pain, zero misery, it would not have come into this dense human body. It just would not have happened, right? I tried everything. I don't know why this happened in the peak of my high vibration. I don't know either. And it brought me to exactly the opposite that I wanted to experience, to the extreme. I don't know what to do. What if it's okay to not know what to do? What if that's fine for now? What if you release the desperation of needing to know what to do, and in the releasing of it, peace arises, and in the peace that arises, the knowing of what to do happens quite naturally. Not a teaching, not the way to be, just something to explore. I don't know why it happened or what I could do to let go of this feeling of failure and pain. Just feel it. Feel it. Maybe see what it's here for, but sometimes you just have to be in the pain and the frustration and the failure, because everything that we're experiencing, everything, especially those low points, are there for really only one reason. Now, I know there's a plethora of reasons, so I'm saying this kind of sort of, but that ultimate reason is to remind us of who we truly are, and to remind us of the oneness that we are, and to remind us that we are more than this physical form, and to remind us that we are source manifested in human form. Because it's in those moments of despair, like we go like right in it, right? We're going all into the frustration, anger, disappointment, all that, right? Until we can't take it anymore. And we're like, nah, I don't want to do this anymore. I want to go back to my bliss and my lightheartedness and my joy. And sometimes it happens to show us that we can have these experiences and return to joy as well. We can have all of it and bounce back into the knowing of who we truly are. I love the ebb and flow of life. A lot of people are out there seeking quote unquote enlightenment. We were born enlightened and we're going to die and be enlightened. So I don't have to seek enlightenment. I'm just here to have the experiences, you know? And so some of those experiences are dark and frustrating and devastating. And you just be with it. And sometimes it feels like I can meditate and come out of some of it. And that may feel soothing and you follow that. But you ask yourself in here, what feels resonant right now? You know, it just feels resonant to bawl my eyes out right now. You know, it just feels resonant to eat a pint of ice cream right now. You know, it just feels resonant to go take a walk right now. You know, it just feels resonant to just be with this pain. You know, it just feels resonant to take some vindictive action right now. Whatever it is, release the judgment from it and just go there. You know, we're so afraid to go into that dark part of us, but it's there in all of us, and from it so much that we don't allow it to show us our light. It's the darkness that shows us our light. Who among us have not experienced tremendous darkness and then suddenly the light started to shine again? You're like, you know, I think I'm done with that devastation or frustration or anger or resentment, and the light comes back in, you know? Need to do to let go. And I mean, I can give you a million different things. I'm sure I can, but in this moment, I'm just being called to share that you can just be with it. And maybe in another video, I'll be sharing how to get out of it or ways in which you could, you know, whatever. But in this moment, I'm just feeling just be with it. And be in the knowing that all is well, no matter what, you know, and who you are is not this human form, and who you are is a fractal of that which hung the stars in orbit, the planets in orbit, and the stars in space. You're a fractal of that. And this human experience that you're having is incredibly impermanent. It's not going to last the rest of your life. You'll see. 2 years from now, it'll be over. And you'll have moved on to many other experiences. So that's what I feel led to share. So the person whose dog died said, I was very inspired by your videos. However, my inspiration has taken a quick turn because tonight my dog died. My grief is not allowing me to feel happy right now. Don't know how long this will last. Have you any advice? So the however there means I was inspired. I was inspired, and then my dog died. And your soul is going, I was inspired, and then my dog died. And it's all equal in value, in its experiential value. And you may say, but death is not valuable. Of course it is. Anyone that passes on leaves all these fragments of new awarenesses for all of us, right? So death is always valuable. But we go, I was inspired. However, my dog died. right? And we have these levels of, I was inspired, so this was better. And then my dog died and it's horrible, right? I go there too, y'all. I'm not talking to you like I don't go there, because I go there. I go there. It's how I know. It's how I know. And then she says, my grief is not allowing me to feel happy right now. Why do you have to feel happy right now? Maybe what your soul wants to explore right now is the experience of grief. Clearly it is, because your dog died and you're feeling grief. So this is the current exploration. And she and I had a lengthier email exchange as well, but I just wanted to highlight that. And she said, I don't know how long this will last. Who cares how long it lasts? Some people grieve for 4 years. Some people grieve for a decade. Some people grieve for a month. Does it actually matter that you're in this exploration? I don't think it matters how long it's going to last. Better question is, how long do I choose for this to be a part of my experience? And don't get hung up on the choosing either, because it's like, I'm not choosing this. It's just natural that I grieve. Absolutely. Just let it be then. Just let it be. That's what I have to offer. I am complete. And I have to go get my son in about 15 minutes. So anything else you guys want to add? Because I am complete and I'm going to wrap up here. Carolyn saying, I'm not afraid of my emotions anymore and I feel free. Freedom is who we are. We put ourselves into a box and into prison when we don't embrace everything that's arising. You know, when we fight with everything that's arising, that's when we're imprisoned, you know. Or we think there's a better way to experience this and a better way to be and a better whatever, you know. There's no other way to be than what's arising now, you know. And it's all equal. My experience isn't better than yours. It's just another one, you know. You're welcome, you're welcome, you're welcome, you're welcome. If I forget to send this summary out by email next week, I'll just put it in a PDF so it's downloadable. If I forget, whoever asked for this, just reply to the email that I send out and remind me. I'll make a note to turn it into a PDF and put it into my next email that I send out. But if I forget, remind me. All right, everybody, what a beautiful thing to have explored all of this with you all. I was exploring this at 4 a.m. one morning, all of this, and just feeling the freedom in all of it and feeling the lack of a particular way to be and the embracing of 7 billion ways to be, because we're each here exploring unique experiences, none like the other. Feeling complete, Anne says, so am I. Good night, everybody. And this replay is going to be here for you forever. So enjoy the replay. What an honor it is, and what an honor it has been to share all of this with you. Because truly it has been on my heart all week, and it has been a place of such freedom and such lightness and such non-grasping and such flow. And that's not a goal to attain either. It's just where I am now. I might be in a video next week going, you know what's frustrating me? And that would be another experience. All the same, right? Well, good night, everybody. I truly have to go because I need to go get my puppy ready to head on out to go pick up my son from work. Thanks again, everyone. Enjoy the replay and glad it was helpful to you. Much love to all of you. And I'll see many of you next Saturday night, 7:30 p.m. in our live face-to-face meetup. Juicy conversations. So we're going to have there face-to-face. So I'm looking forward to that. Those of you who are watching this who don't know where that is, it's AllisonPhillips.tv/meetup, and it is a free event. So feel free to join us. Good night, everybody. Have a wonderful rest of your weekend, and I will see some of you next week live and in person. Bye-bye.